Hi guys, it's me Tech Jake, and today we're talking about something that looks simple on the outside but actually makes a huge difference if you do a lot of printing. This is the Epson Expression ET2700 EcoTank Wireless Color All-in-One Super Tank Printer with scanner and copier. Yeah, the name is long, but what makes this device interesting isn't just the fact that it's another all-in-one printer. It's that it flips the whole idea of how printers are supposed to work. So, let's break this down. The ET2700 is part of Epson's EcoTank line. If you've ever owned a traditional inkjet printer, you know the drill. Tiny cartridges that don't last very long, are usually way overpriced, and somehow always run out at the worst possible time. This printer basically says, forget cartridges altogether. Instead, it uses refillable ink tanks. That's why Epson calls it a super tank. You get big ink reservoirs built into the printer, and you literally pour the ink in from bottles. It's cleaner, more cost-effective, and most importantly, it lasts a really long time before you need to think about refilling. Now, Epson claims that out of the box, this thing can give you up to 2 years of ink. That's thousands of pages, depending on what you're printing, of course. But imagine not having to worry about ink running out for a year or two. That's a big deal if you're running a small home office, a classroom, or even just doing normal family printing, stuff like homework, forms, tickets, or the occasional photo. Design-wise, it's pretty straightforward. Matte black finish, fairly compact for what it is, and the footprint is small enough that it doesn't dominate your desk. You've got the scanner up top, the paper input tray in the back, and then the output tray in the front. On the side, you'll notice those visible ink tanks, which I actually think is pretty cool. You can literally see how much ink you have left just by glancing at it. No more guessing or relying on a software notification that always seems to come late. Now, because this is an all-in-one, you're not just printing. You've got copying and scanning too. The flatbed scanner works well for documents, receipts, or even photos. It's not going to replace a high-end dedicated photo scanner, but for everyday use, it's solid. The copier function is as simple as it gets, one button and you're done. For students or anyone working from home, that's the kind of convenience you want without having to mess with too many menus. Connectivity is also a highlight here. This is a wireless printer, so you can print from your laptop, desktop, phone, or tablet without plugging in a cable. It supports Wi-Fi Direct, which means even if you don't have a router nearby, you can still connect your device directly to the printer. It works with Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Print, so whether you're in the iOS or Android camp, you're covered. I tested printing from my phone, and honestly, it's as easy as hitting print and waiting a few seconds. When it comes to print quality, it does exactly what you'd expect from a color inkjet. Text documents are sharp and easy to read. Graphics, charts, and images come out clean and vibrant. It's not designed to be a high-end photo printer, so if you're trying to make gallery quality prints, that's not what this is for. But for everyday use, school projects, work reports, colorful flyers, it's more than good enough. The colors look natural, and the text is crisp. Let's talk about speed. This isn't the fastest printer in the world, but for its class, it holds up. You're looking at about 10 pages per minute in black and white, and around 5 pages per minute in color. That's not blazing fast, but it's more than fine for the average household or office needs. And again, the real selling point here isn't speed, it's cost savings and convenience. Speaking of savings, this is where things really get interesting. Epson says the included ink is equivalent to about 30 sets of traditional ink cartridges. Think about that for a second. If you've ever gone out and bought cartridges, you know how expensive they are. With the ET2700, you're saving potentially hundreds of dollars over time, because you're not constantly buying those little cartridges. And when you do need to refill, the bottles are relatively cheap and give you a lot of ink. Now, it's not all perfect. The display on the front is very basic, no fancy touchscreen here. You're working with a small, simple interface with a few buttons. It gets the job done, but don't expect a high-tech experience. Also, there's no automatic document feeder, which means if you need to scan or copy a multi-page document, you're placing each page manually on the scanner bed. For some people,